There once was a boy named Lee, an innocent who loved to sing and wanted to be loved. Like any little boy, he looked to his mother for life and light, and like any mother, she was the early vision and source of health and happiness, especially for Lee, whose father died 2 months before he was born. This little boy was not one of the lucky ones. We would all come to know this one day. In the end, Lee, still a boy at 24, was murdered by a man named Jack, his desperate frustrations brought to a close. If only Lee's mother had heeded the signs. If only she could have heard his cries for help and seen what was clear to so many others. If only. But his mother Marguerite was on another journey, one that didn't include him. And when it did, the innocent boy was but a troubled projection of her, angry and grandiose, controlling and overwrought, a lost and restless soul plagued with the burden of filling a bottomless well of unfulfilled love. Embittered and yearning to be someone great, he would never have what he really needed. The abandonment started early. By age 3, the boy had been shipped off to an orphanage to join his brothers, sent away by a mother who was too busy, too focused on her money woes, to care for her children. Later, with mother and son together again, Marguerite would keep him close, too close, making excuses for his detached and violent behavior, or blaming others who could not understand how special her boy was. She would do this right to the end and beyond, even when the Klieg lights shined bright and a Supreme Court justice questioned her stories. My boy, she would say, was a very fine boy. My boy, she would tell the powers that be, is an unsung hero. Marguerite's words had the ring of madness, her visions disconnected from the realities right in front of her. But she would listen to no one. Not before, certainly not now, a U.S. president murdered by her son and the whole world watching. Not ever. I find this a very intelligent boy, and I am really proud, she would tell an interviewer in 1965. I think he's coming out in history as a very fine boy. In the most improbable of improbables, Marguerite Oswald would become the self-described mother in history. As tortured a path as it was to get her there, as profound a cataclysm as it was for the nation she said she loved, it was the role of her lifetime. Marguerite and Lee, mother and son, a relationship soaked in tragedy. A tale that, like all tragedies, did not have to end in death and destruction, but ultimately did.